Once upon a time, in a land of dragons, there was a dragon tamer. One day at noon, the dragon tamer whipped one of the dragons, and the dragon bit him. Taking advantage of the dragon tamer being in pain, the dragon flew away. A few minutes later, the dragon tamer turned into a dragon, becoming a dragon tamer. He wondered how he would turn back into a person. Suddenly, he remembered something he read in a book. If you get bitten by a dragon, you will turn into one. In order to break the spell, you need to get bitten by the same dragon a second time. If you get bitten more than one time, the spell will not break, and you will have to wait until the next day at the same time and get bitten one more time. If you only get bitten once, you will turn back into a person in a few minutes. But later he saw that the first thing on the list of the roller coaster was the House of Ghosts. He was prepared for his plan, but when he looked up, he remembered there were spikes in the sky. He knew that now he had to go through the roller coaster, so he walked on. He stopped at a big house that looked very welcoming. He went inside and suddenly it was all dark. The door shut closed behind him. He tried to open the door but realized it was locked. Then he saw a bunch of ghosts. He blew fire everywhere because he was frightened and noticed he had just lighted candles. The ghosts did not like the light, so they all went into rooms and waited for the candles to go out. While they waited in the rooms, the dragon tamer walked out the back door of the house. 10 minutes later, he saw he was heading towards the grave of zombies and mummies. When he entered the grave, he noticed there were snakes crawling everywhere. He blew fire at them, and to his surprise, they turned into dust. He found an army of zombies and mummies. He blew fire at some of them and ripped the others to shreds. 5 minutes after that, he could see the next thing he was going to bump into was the giant gate of the skies of vampires. There were 2 big giants on either side of the gate. The dragon tamer flew up to one of the giants and scratched their face with his sharp claws. He flew over to the other giant and also scratched him in the face. When they saw the dragon tamer, they tried to grab him and accidentally knocked each other out. The dragon tamer flew through the gates, which had just opened, and saw there were coffins floating in the sky with spiders on them. Bats were flying everywhere, while you could hear an unusual sound. All of a sudden, the earth shook a little. Then all of the coffins opened. Vampires came out with a hungry look on their faces. The dragon tamer tried blowing fire on them and scratching them. When the war was over, he was walking toward the woods of wolves. Wolves were coming out of every direction. He scratched most of them and blew fire on the others. He kept on walking and found out he had just killed all the wolves. He was suddenly on open land, but there were dragon tamers everywhere. They were fighting evil dragons. The dragon tamers didn't know that the dragon tamer was a dragon tamer, so they were fighting him as well. The dragon tamer first knocked out the dragon tamers. Then he fought with the other dragons. They scratched and they bit and blew fire at each other until there were no more evil dragons. Again, he walked to see what the next thing on the list was. It was the Valley of Volcanoes. Volcanoes were erupting everywhere. There were spikes in the sky and spikes on the ground. It was like a maze of volcanoes where you had to avoid touching all the volcanoes and spikes. So the dragon tamer carefully went through the maze and ended up in the ninjas' land. There were ninjas jumping everywhere. He fought them the way he fought everything else. He scratched and blew fire on them. He walked on and again and came to a stop. He was there. He was finally where his dragon was. He flew towards the dragon and did things that would make him mad. Then the dragon was so mad, he bit the dragon tamer, not once nor twice, but 3 times. The dragon tamer turned back into a person, but a few minutes later he turned into a dragon. Another few minutes later, he felt a sharp cut on his hand. He looked at it and discovered the word cursed in bloody letters.